Now, as cocaine production soars in Peru, so does demand. Cocaine usage around the world has jumped by more than a quarter from 1998 to 2008. That's according to the Global Commission on Drug Policy. The U.S. is the biggest market for the drug. It accounts for 36% of global consumption. Cocaine is often smuggled into the United States through Mexico, and drug gangs there are now expanding their operations into Peru and neighboring Bolivia. The U.S. is supporting Peru's anti-drug strategy, but is urging other countries to provide resources to help. So why has Peru become the world's leading producer of coca? That's a question I put to Peter Reuter, who's written extensively on organized crime.
I think that much of it has to do with what's going on in Colombia. Colombia was a very attractive place to grow coca when there was a lot of violence in the rural areas and the government was unable to provide protection, and really there were farmers in areas where there was nothing else to grow but coca commercially. The Colombian government has gotten stronger in recent years. There's now a possibility in those areas of producing for legal markets, and so it's a less attractive place to grow coca, and so some of it has shifted back to Peru, which was the leading producer for a long time until the mid-1990s.
So what is the Peruvian government doing? From what you've just told us, there appears to be some shortcoming on the part of the Peruvian government if coca production has moved to Peru.
Well, I think governments have quite limited capability of making a difference here. You can move the traffic around, and there were two factors that moved the traffic from Peru, the growing of coca from Peru to Colombia in the 1990s. One were things that are happening in Colombia, but also it was a case that the Peruvian government and the U.S. government broke a transportation channel, the Peruvian air bridge, in the mid-1990s. But this is an industry which is going to locate somewhere in the Andes, and there are lots of factors that influence it, but government actions are probably a pretty minor part of that. It doesn't take a lot of land to grow all the coca the world needs. It's not possible for the Peruvian government to really keep coca production very low.
You know, the report that we have done in Peru, we've talked to coca farmers down there who say, yes, they would like to farm alternative crops, crops that will probably get them more money, but the initial investment is not there. The initial will on the part of the government is not there for them to make that adjustment, to make that change.
Well, there are some places, some regions in which alternative development programs have been working quite well, where the government has both combined eradication and sort of very targeted alternative development successfully. I think there are other areas in which the government doesn't feel it has enough control and has basically left it alone. An area called the Vray, the valley between the rivers, I forget the names of the rivers A and E. So it's not as though there's a simple single story. There are areas in which the government seems to be quite effective and areas in which it hasn't made much of an effort. And you can fault them for that, but I'm not sure from the point of view of the United States it really matters whether the coca is grown in Peru or grown in Colombia.